Filthy Fubar requesting support.
Today's episode, Alpha Strike, Base Assault. How did it go? A battle report and the rules. Good luck and stay tuned. So you decided to work for Weyland Yutani on Dustball 2 at a secret facility built to withstand a regimental assault and test out weapons on behalf of Weyland Yutani against a deep raid from a Draconis Combine DEST team working with local Karita-friendly rebels. And you have to defend a facility with 24 gun turrets, 8 AC-20 duels, 8 SRM turrets, and 8 LRM turrets. And you're a mercenary unit in 3048. What did you think was going to happen, sir? So, let's have a little disclaimer. In Battletech, we've never really had maps with Brian castles. We haven't had a lot of terrain depicting Brian castles or large facilities. And now we're going to attack and charge into an enemy base. We've had a lot of artwork over the years depicting various walls and castles falling down and various books. But let's give you the rules first and show you the homebrew that my crew down in San Antonio came up with that uses Alpha Strike rules. I'll give you the page numbers, I'll give you the things to look up, you'll have all the information you need, and then we'll jump to the battle report. So thanks for sticking with us. Alright boys and girls, so first and foremost, the turrets were designed using Solaris Skunk Armor Works, using the trailer from a tracked vehicle. That means that it needs an external power source, i.e. a base. Now, page 1 of the rules that we came up with, pop-up turrets can appear at any hard point once per game, cannot leave. Meaning that they cannot retract into the ground and go into hiding. Once they're out, they're out. 2, they can be deployed during the deployment phase, or they can pop up during any movement phase. Now, page 2. Number 3, turret standards are skill 4. However, since they are immobile, page 74 or 72 respectively of which Alpha Strike book you have, they have a -1 gunnery bonus. Opponents shooting at turrets have a -4 bonus for an immobile target, meaning that if it's long range and you're skill 4, you just need a 4 to hit the target. Partial cover still applies for line of sight. Number 4, they have true LOS unless they have indirect fire or artillery special ability, which makes them dangerous. Welcome to page 3. Turrets are immobile. They do not count in force movement. You cannot count them for movement order purposes. They're immobile. They're not going anywhere. And don't sandbag your opponents by saying, oh, I'm moving my first group of turrets if you're playing Lance or company style play. Turrets don't count. They only count in the shooting phase. 5, for critical hits, I'm sorry, that was 5. 6, for critical hits, use the vehicle charts to determine effects of excessive damage applying in the end phase. There is no force withdrawal for turrets. However, the scenario has power plants. If the power plant connected to the turrets is destroyed, then turrets then are counted powered down, offline, or mission killed. They don't have independent power sources, so we cannot hold them long. Turrets that are being controlled by a player pre-game should be assigned to a power plant if one is available on the map. If you have multiple types of turret and you have multiple power structures, again, use common sense. And if your opponent has Fog of War or you're not using Fog of War, let them have the opportunity to discover what you're doing and what power is what. The Mercenaries defending Dustball 2, the Aldenbolt of Razorhog, or the Anvil of Razorhog, signed up to do an easy job. Sit there, hold the door open, don't worry about too much. You have 3 barriers of walls protecting a secret R&D base that Weyland Yutani has set up. or so they thought. Weyland Yutani has hired mercenaries of the Grey Death Legion, the Asault of Razorhog, and a few other forces to test out their new rapid deployment colony systems. But Weyland Yutani isn't divulging any information. Whoops. As you see from the aerial footage, this is later on in the battle when we could get a recon flight over. In the back of the facility, you see 3 large power processing plants, but right now we're focused on the Draconis Combine forces. They've taken the first casualty. You see that the mech forces are split up in 2 with air support coming in and Slayers. There's 4 drop factories. The defenders and mechs are encircling the walls. He used a lot of LRM support artillery. The power plants are the 3 buildings in the back. However, you see a Marauder, Marauder 2, Valkyries, Longbows, and Atlas, and a whole bunch of other hurt looking dead at the Draconis Combine forces. The battle itself was pretty intense. I ran my Draconis Combine 2 C3 forces with 2 Lances vehicles and 2 Lances of Slayers. Slayers did devastating work turn 1. We blew out most of the autocannon turrets, crippled a few of his mechs off the bat, and forced him to open the doors, where you see his assault lance marching down the street. The main issue for me was trying to breach the walls. The scenario was I had to have 20% of my entire ground-based force breach the last wall, and it didn't happen. It was a very brutal battle. I got 3 units over the wall. My opponent was having bad dice rolls, and you can see in the pictures that I lost a lot of units left and right. I left the corpses on the table so people could see better in the videos. I didn't count any of the VTOLs as ground-based units because of their flyers. But we did cross the gap. It's just that his entire command and fire lance met me at the gap with the Marauder, Marauder 2. Even though we were doing crippling damage, Draconis Combine could not sustain a win, so the battle was a very vicious draw. The Spider, a Dragon, and another mech made it. His longbow indirect fire support was fantastic. Every game he uses them, and his hammer hands are devastating. It was just, I lost all of that going into the last turn. Hatamotoshi, Hunchback, and one of the Dragons. So my win got gunned down in the street. That Atlas is a C3M, the C3 Master variant from 3050. The Slayers did amazing work. Just the losses were too high, too significant, and with forced withdrawal on my part, I just had to give up the ghost and go. The Mercenaries held the day, and Weyland Yutani has taken the data from every battle and has passed it along to their R&D department. Who knows what Weyland Yutani has in store for the next group of mercenaries that are going to sign up for a job. This was before the battle, when the mercenaries were patrolling their inner and outer walls, 4 AC-20 turrets ready deployed, and this is the push from the Draconis Combine. It didn't work out. Proud to say that this was a very fun game, a very interesting strategy dynamic. The only thing I would have done different is turn 1, my disposable forces would have supported the turrets in helping assist with the gun down of the mercenaries. The DEST team coming in. A lot of turrets went as primary targets for me turn 1. However, that's the beginning of the game right there. I did it in reverse so I could talk about what happened like that, where we just destroyed every turret possible and we just started banking for the walls. Strafing and Alpha Strike is a very vicious and brutal tactic. I highly recommend it as long as both players are open to it. The way that the new aerospace fighter rules work as far as staying on station, I find it very dangerous and exciting at the same time because they can be gunned down very easily. However, thank you for watching the battle report, enjoy the pictures and the music, and stay tuned for next time. The Mercenaries pulled a very strong draw. Draconis Combine lost 90% of their forces.